Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, apparently one of the best times you can do is having a cruise. Unfortunately, when some people got back from their cruise, they realized they had just been robbed, and it was a very organized and devastating loss for a lot of people. We also have a woman who has spread across social media because she got stuck in one of those water slides on an NCL cruise ship. And after what happened with the glass shattering on one slide, now to see this one, a lot of people are commenting on how panicked they would be if this was them. And finally, we have a grand princess where people are basically not having a very grand time. Well, as many of you do know, there are people out there whose entire job is to try and steal your money, try and con you out of money, either by phony emails or phony phone calls, or just pretending there's something they're not, right? These people are scam artists, and they're trying to get a hold of your information. One of the ways they get a hold of that information is by every time you search the web, they have, collections out there. Data brokers are collecting this information, putting it into files and everything, your phone numbers, your home address, sometimes your credit card numbers, your loans that you've taken out with banks, etc., what your buying habits are. And then they're selling this information to businesses. Well, we hope businesses. We hope it's like GM, or we hope it's like Google, who are trying to just sell us stuff. But sometimes this information falls into nefarious hands. People who are trying to do bad things to your credit score, to your accounts. I've heard of people having their loans taken out under their name and they had no idea, and it took years for them to get this all solved. Now, you could get yourself off of these data broker lists if you tell them, hey, take me off your list. I don't want to be on there. By law, they have to do it. I don't know how to get that done. Do you know how to get that done? No. You know who does? Incogni. That's why I've signed up with Incogni. You give them your email that you want them to monitor, and they will contact all of these data brokers and get you off those lists. Not only that, they will monitor it to make sure they don't put you back on those lists even after they've removed it, which they try and do sometimes as well. You'll see a great reduction in your spam email, and your accounts and your private information will be much safer not being on these lists. And don't forget, Incogni also has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you'd like to protect yourself like I've done, why not give Incogni a try? You can follow my link down below. Use the code FAMILY to get 60% off your subscription. You could also use the QR code right here. And I think you'll be very happy with the results. I know I am. I'm glad. I've been removed from over 180 different brokers right now, data brokers. That's how many people so far, just so far, who have tried to store my information. Thank you, Incogni, for getting me off of those data broker lists. So, despite being advertised as a secure parking lot in Southampton, the busiest terminal, one of the busiest cruise ports in Europe, everyone sails out of there, going to Norway, down the coast, around to Ireland, etc. Well, they say it's a secured parking area. They have closed-circuit TV surveillance. They have site inspections. They have patrols. They have a lot of things. Well, apparently on the weekend of the 13th, they had 17 cars stolen from the parking lot. 17. This wasn't just somebody sneaking in and randomly grabbing a car. This was truly organized, and it's unclear how they got around the closed-circuit TV, how they got around patrols not noticing, how they were able to sneak in and steal that many vehicles. But it's raised a lot of questions about parking at some of these places and the security that they say that they offer. Well, you can bet now that they'll be stepping up those patrols, etc., going forward, but they also are asking for anybody who might be aware of any of the situation or have seen anything to come forward as well. Yeah, imagine coming back from your cruise, looking for your car, and just at first you'd be saying, I forgot where I parked, right? That would be your first inkling. And then after searching for like 2,000 cars, you realize yours isn't there. Not a fun situation. Speaking of not a fun situation, there is a viral video going around right now of a woman who got stuck on an NCL slide. We do know this is the loop slide, and it's only available on the Bliss, the Joy, or the Encore, so it's one of those 3 ships. And this is one of those slides that have glass partitions. You can see them as they're sliding down. Looks like it's a lot of fun until you get stuck in one at the bottom of the loop. And then not only are you above the ground hanging out and stuck in this small little tube with water running around your face and your back, you also are over the ocean at this point. It overhangs the side of the cruise ship. So you also have your height fear as well going on. And a lot of people are commenting how panicked they would be if this happened, if they were stuck in a small space like this with, with water rushing around you, although it's not deep water at this point, but there is water heading down the slide, otherwise you ain't going nowhere, and to be hung up over the ocean as well. Luckily, these slides do come with an escape hatch, and the escape hatch is very close to this area because they realize if somebody's going to get stuck, oh, that's where they're going to get stuck. They're not going to get stuck at the top. They're not going to get stuck. They're going to get stuck down there and just kind of do this thing at the bottom. So yeah, a lot of people saying that they would be absolutely panicked and be freaking out. And right now, after what happened with the glass breaking on one slide and being over the ocean, I can see that happening. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you do? Would you freak out over this? I think a lot of people might, because it's claustrophobic, it's height, it's water, it's 3 fears all at the same time. Next, let's talk about the Grand Princess. She was just in Alaska, so it's cooler weather, cooler season, and she's transporting herself over to Fort Lauderdale, which means she has to go through the Panama Canal. She's on a 16-day cruise repositioning. And yeah, they're having to change the system over from heating, which is in Alaska, to air conditioning, which of course is in the Panama Canal in Florida. Well, unfortunately, they're having some issues. They're having some issues where it's not regulating the heat in certain staterooms. It's blasting heat instead of air conditioning, and it's making some staterooms very uncomfortable to be staying in. Also, despite that, they're also having some technical difficulties with the bathrooms, where many of the bathrooms and toilets aren't working in the cruise as well. So it's just compounding the frustration and what's going on with people's discomfort. Now, Princess realizes they're having a problem on the Grand. They've addressed it to people. And so the people who are affected, who are either having the bathroom issues or the air conditioning issues, are going to get what's called a prorated refund. So from the start to when their issues are fixed, they will get a full refund for that portion of their cruise. Also, they're going to receive a 25% future cruise credit as well. Now, if this persists and keeps going longer and longer, that even may change some more, but they are working on the problems. They are fixing it. This does happen sometimes when you're transitioning from a cold weather climate to a warm weather climate, or vice versa, where the system has to catch up and, change itself around to get used. Now, most of the ship is air conditioned, doing fine, etc. But some staterooms in some locations are definitely feeling the heat, shall we say. Well, that makes a very uncomfortable cruise. Imagine heat blasting out instead of air conditioning in the Caribbean. Yikes. And then your toilet not working besides that. That would be not a fun cruise at all. Well, let me know in the comments down below. What would you do? Would you be really angry about this, or you just say, well, it happens, it happens. That tends to be what I do. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.